Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're going to take a look at the Galaxy Watch. This is the 46mm version with Bluetooth. Let's check it out. Now earlier this week, actually just a couple days ago, we did a unboxing review and included this amongst all the Samsung devices that we unboxed. The Galaxy Watch is the Bluetooth version, 46mm, and it's very similar to what I have here. This is the classic, but it has some styling changes that I really like about this watch. So what we're going to be doing is we'll do the unboxing, we'll do the setup, and we'll talk about some of the features that this watch has, some things that it's lost as it compares to even the classic Bluetooth, and also bands, because this is a highly customizable watch. Let's get right to it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available. Now, in addition to your user guide, you're going to find a standard charger, a micro USB charger, your charging base that uses micro USB, and your watch. Now, in addition to your watch, you do get an extra watch band, and this happens to be a shorter one, so you can see the difference right here. So this is definitely going to work, especially if you have a lot of, I would say this part right here coming through, you can go to the shorter band. So you have one or two choices, and they're very easy to change. You'll notice that it has this little button here that you pull back, and then it basically retracts this piece right here. So let's do that closer so you can see it. So that goes in simply by just pushing that button. Now, I've been a fan of the Samsung line of watches and smartwatches in general. So I've had Apple watches, I've had LG watches, Huawei watches, Samsung watches from the very first beginning. And my preferred watch style is the round version. I've had square watches as well, but I like the ones that look like watches. I also like the fact that you can change the bands, and so we'll be reviewing bands like this. This is a band from one of my favorite manufacturers, and we'll get a little closer so you can see that. This is from Strap Studio. They make some very high quality leather bands, and simply by putting this band on the watch, look at how it just changes. It just transforms itself. The same thing happens. I could put this black one on here, and given the black here, this is going to look really sharp. So love the fact that I can change bands, and I change bands quite often. Just like I mentioned that I switch cases often. I could go from dressy to sport just by flipping a band. I also use these locks, these clasps that you see here, that makes it easy just to put on and off. So flexibility of changing the bands is great with these, and it uses standard watch bands, which I'll include links on the bottom. Now, the other thing that is pretty neat about this is the fact that the dial is one of the best navigation tools I've seen on a watch. I have had an Apple Watch, and the control over here on the crown, and other watches that use this, but your ability to be able to just rotate the dial like this and go through and then select what you'd like to see, go into, let's say for example, fitness right here and just go into it, or look at my steps as I'm doing right here and then tap and see the details. I think that that's a great interface. It makes it so easy to use this watch. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specs. We'll review that, and then we'll go ahead and pair this up and see what it looks like. All right, so first off, this watch is 63 grams compared to the 49 grams of the 42mm, so it's a little bit larger and a little bit heavier. It does use the same type of bands that a regular watch does, so these are interchangeable 22mm. So if you're looking for watch bands, there's tons of these on Amazon, and like I said, Strap Studio is what I would recommend. They're high quality bands and they last forever. The screen itself is 1.3 millimeters in size, as you can see, circular, and it has a resolution of 360 by 360. You do have a full color always on display possible. It does have Corning Gorilla Glass with Glass DX Plus. I do recommend a screen protector. I have one on mine. Let me just wipe it off with my finger here. I was grilling outside. That's my screen protector, and you can see how well it's there. Typically people don't even notice it. I like it because if I bang my watch, which I have, I've never cracked my screen, and I see a lot of cracked screens on Reddit and on Google Plus as I'm looking at forums. So you'll want to have a screen protector, which you'll see on the channel. The battery is a larger capacity, so you're looking at a 472 milliamp hour battery. It is running a 1.15 gigahertz processor, and it's running Tizen. So this isn't Google, it's Tizen. Now, there's a couple different versions that are going to be available. Right now, the only one available is the Bluetooth version, which is this one, and it has 768 megabytes of RAM. The LTE version will have 1.5, which is obviously because of the radio cell and all that other stuff, but it has 4 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, the Bluetooth that it supports is Bluetooth 4.2. It is Wi-Fi enabled and NFC enabled. Now, this is a big difference. I do Samsung Pay to pay all my goods using my watch, and I'm going to go ahead and go into it on my watch and show you. Let me go back to show you how easy that is. So on my watch, I press and hold this. It goes into Samsung Pay, and then all I have to do is tap Pay. When I hit Pay, it's going to go through the circle, and it's going to go through the payment process. 99.9% of the time, I'm able to get my watch to work. The only place it doesn't work is in a gasoline station. So the difference with this watch, though, is that this one uses tap and also the magnetic swipe simulator. This one only has a tap feature, so this is NFC only. So I'm a little disappointed because that's all you have with this watch. It does have other sensors, accelerometers, barometers, gyros, HRMs, ambient light sensors, all those things, and it charges by just placing it inside of a cradle that you saw. What I really appreciate about this, and I'm going to mention this to my dentist because he is a swimmer and has been telling me, really looking for a Samsung watch that's going to be able to support swimming. And this one will support 5 ATMs. So this is going to be great for those of you who want to swim. It's an IP68 rated watch with military drop standards. And again, if you're looking to be able to go into a pool with this, given the 5 ATM rating, you shouldn't have a problem. Now, this will work with any Samsung or Android device, and it will even work on an iPhone. So you're looking at iOS 9 or higher, and what you're also looking at is really the flexibility to cross any kind of platform. So you don't really have to worry about much there. Now here you do have, this is your home button, your back button. You have the rotating bezel to navigate as you saw. You do have your sensor as we talked about on the back, and then you have the ability to quickly and easily, watch how fast this is. All I do is press this in here and then take off just like this, the watch. And then if I want to put it back in place, I just snap it back in place just like that, and then my watch is ready to go. So really, really simple when it comes to switching bands, and again, the flexibility of having such a dressy watch. Now, to pair your watch, you're going to want to get the Galaxy wearable application. So we're going to go ahead and hit start here. So I'm going to allow this because this is the first time this is installed on my Note 9. I'm going to allow this, allow. And now what we're going to do is we're going to choose a device that we're going to be connecting. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to power up the watch. So I'm pressing and hold the power button. And you see the Galaxy watch is started up. And then we're going to go through a pairing process just in a second. So let's go ahead and wait for this to start up. So you're seeing the startup process. There it goes. Now we'll be reviewing tempered glass screen protectors also on the channel. I do expect some new watch bands from Strap Studio, also from Barton Bands. So here we have our welcome. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to scan for nearby devices. So it's going to go through the scanning process. And we'll give it a second for it to find the watch, and then we'll select it. All right, so it's found the watch. It's right there. It's going to have a code on my watch and a code here. So I'm going to choose OK on both so that they pair and connect. Now, unlike this watch, which is LTE, I'll bring this down so you can see what that means. This watch has the ability, this watch that I have here has the ability to operate on its own, and so does this one. The difference is that this one has a cellular radio and can take phone calls completely on its own. This one you'll be able to manage your phone calls, you'll be able to control playing music off from your watch as if it was a remote control. But if they're separated, untethered, you're not going to be able to take phone calls on the watch. It's really dependent. It's like a headset. I find these work really well, surprisingly, when I'm in my car, no music on, and I'm driving. The watch being where it's at, and then the mic being where it's at, it just makes it really easy. And you'll notice right here to pick up your voice as you're driving. So I do find that using it as a remote, for let's say Spotify or for some type of audiobook that I'm listening to, works really well. And also the mic itself also works really well in that specific setting. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is agree to all the terms. Hit next. I'm not going to restore my previous watch. I'm just going to go ahead and start from scratch. So we'll go ahead and skip that. And now it's going to go to how to use. So I'll go over here and you'll notice some of the steps. It's going to tell you to turn this way so you can see it. That's what the watch face looks like. It tells you to turn this way to then go back. It is a very realistic watch. We'll turn it one more time to look at notifications. right? The back key is right here. So it gives you a tutorial on how to use it. And then here's the home key to get you to all the apps, right? Swipe down to see the controls at the top, right? Cover it to turn it off. All right, let's do it one more time. And then you've gone through all the tutorial. It's that simple to use. Now, let's take a look at what some of the things the app has. So here you have for messages, which you can reply on your watch. It does have Bixby, so you'll be able to use Bixby. Here's your phone control. We're going to get out of this for a second. We'll go ahead and go back. You then have your contacts, so you can use voice to control things. You have your email, Samsung Health, Galaxy apps, settings, PowerPoint controller. We'll go next. You have Samsung Flow, that's kind of the swipe for writing. You do have here your Find My Phone, reminder, music, your gallery, weather, alarm, world clock, next page. And then you have your calendar, Bixby, as well as altimeter and barometer, and then you have news. Now, to get Samsung Pay to work, like I showed you, you'll have to install it from your actual phone. That will get installed and it'll push over, and then you'll be able to use it. Remember, it's only going to work where you see NFC, where you see that little symbol, like it looks like a Wi-Fi symbol, and it may say Apple Pay as well. Now we're going to come back. So here's your watch faces. Let me go ahead and get out of this for a second. So your watch, and I just want to show you this. It's a very realistic watch. You see how it's kind of going through that motion as I move it? So it has a very realistic watch face. If you press it, you can actually switch watch faces. So these are all the watch faces that are available. And then all you have to do is choose like the one that you're looking for. If you choose this one, for example, that's more of a sports one. I tend to switch watch faces depending if I'm at the gym, and if I'm doing a workout, I'll go ahead and switch the watch face. I like sleeping with my watch. I do track my sleep, and what I find really great with this, and actually recommend this to a friend as well, the alarm, having a silent alarm on your wrist makes a whole lot of sense. I've also have a friend who has a daughter who is deaf, and she used to use a special device to wake herself up, and now she uses a smartwatch to do that. So that's another, simple thing. This is a nice watch face because it gives you the ability to have multiple time zones, which I tend to use because I work with clients in different time zones, and then you can get more watch faces. So, that's in a nutshell the actual Galaxy Watch 46mm. This is my preferred watch, the gold. My wife is going to be using that. Again, in the channel, we're going to be reviewing bands. I'm going to include links to the bands that we've had before because you can order them now. There are more bands coming, and we'll talk about screen protectors, and then I'll give a deep dive on the watch. So make sure you stay tuned, smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.